Well, well, what is this now? Nothing better than some surprise ship releases from Star Citizen. We have the Atlas Geo and a very interesting new mining ship called the Drake Golem being thrown at us. I much prefer them releasing ships this way, where you don't expect it and it just gets tossed at you and it's all ready to go. Just ask the purchasers of the Banu Merchantman what it's like waiting for 12 years. So I like this kind of release, you know. We didn't expect the Atlas Geo, and we didn't really expect the Golem, but here it is. The Golem video I'm going to look at is made by Even Lease. He did a wonderful job of going through it. But let's start off with the Atlas Geo, which I absolutely love. I think this is going to be extremely useful. And Star Citizen is just killing it this year so far. We're in the first couple of months and we are matching 2023's revenues so far, which is incredible. Keeping in mind that sales have been, I don't want to say slow, but it feels like it's slow, but yet here we are almost cracking records. So far so good for Star Citizen. Let's take a look at how the Atlas Geo looks and roll. Oh, strong open. Very strong open. You're dropping down to a cave. You've got thrusters on there, which is new. I think everyone loves this already.
The Atlas is a power suit that assists players loading cargo into their ship with a tractor beam.
So it's supposed to work as...
By the way, the standard Atlas has thrusters also. I haven't tried to see if it's operational, but it looks like it should be.
A cargo carrier in your personal hangar to move giant boxes around. Now we are introducing the Atlas Geo, and that is a mining mech.
Yes.
The Geo's beam is a vehicle mining beam.
But with the press of a button,
Nice.
You can reduce the power to fit
Nice.
the expected power of an FPS mineable.
I'll confess, I'm not big into the mining part of this game. But when you have your small or medium-sized ship, I think this even fits in the cutter, the short at the end, I think. So you can toss one of these into your cutter, and if you come across a cave or something where you need to have this, it's there. I love it.
The Geo does not have the regular tractor beam, it only comes with the mining arm and the mining laser. But the biggest improvement or the biggest addition that the Geo will have is a giant backpack.
They do such a good job. You got to give the devs a hand here, because the size 1 box, which fits in the back, the ability to store weapons, everything on the sides of it, I love it. I love what they've done, and no other game out there comes close to what they are doing. I know everyone is frustrated about the amount of time it takes to make this game, but look, the level of detail and the small details they put into these things, nothing else comes close.
It's like one of the regular cargo boxes. You can just pop it in. It'll fill it with ore as you mine.
And it's got a little multi-tool storage on the bottom where you have your multi-tool, mining gadget, and the big FPS tractor beam.
You can also bring spare containers, so once the container on your back is full, you can then detach it and
there's your size 1 box, slots in and out with all the materials. Amazing.
replace it with a new one. But the most unique thing about the Geo is a new functionality: jump and hover.
So the jumping is my favourite bit of it. It lets you jump quite high. You've got to charge up the jump first, of course, but then you can leap quite big distances.
Yes.
You can enforce the jump or simmer down the jump or the landing process by firing the thrusters.
You can press space to...
I mean, I'm not excited about the mining part of it, but I think what we are seeing here is a taste of what the combat variant will be like. A big size 1 laser repeater on the side there with thrusters, you know, low G moons with some kind of combat going on there. It's going to be awesome.
jump and then press keep pressing space or hold it to give a thrust and kind of fly.
While you're in the air, you can maintain a small hover. You can adjust your aiming as you're landing. If you get stuck in a ravine or something, you can jump out to escape.
It's hilarious. It's fun.
Absolutely.
We also did some updates to the existing Atlas. So it has now a health bar integrated into the frame. So you always see the health status of your Atlas.
I like to... Do you do this too? Sometimes when I get out of a ship, I look around at the hull and I just admire the wear and tear that they've taken the time to put on it. Look at that. That's so impressive. I mean, all these years later, I'm still impressed by it.
Plus, it also has a battery slot now. Not used as of now, but will be used once the engineering gameplay comes in. And apart from that, we did some tweaks to the animations. So there are some death animations that we now have.
We've added some small thrusters
Nice.
that allow you to land a little bit more gracefully when you're falling from a cliff, or when you jump out of a ship, or falling from a greater height.
And
I'm a vehicle artist, but I love...
here we are in the back of the cutter, best ship next to the Aurora, obviously. Kind of close to the ceiling there, but it fits. Fits perfectly.
big robots just as much.
It's much smaller than the Rock, so you can compact it back in the cargo bay of a bigger ship much easier. I personally enjoy it more because it's a big stompy robot.
So nice. Great.
So we hope that you are excited for the new Atlas Geo. We are really happy to give it out the way it is right now. It gives us also some opportunity to revisit some of the FPS mining and ROC mining. And we are happy to continue developing or continue improving or expanding on the Atlas going forward.
Perfect. And what a great place to pause also. When the combat variant comes out, there will be a 3-pack for sale. There'll be the regular one, well, the cargo one, the mining one, and the combat one. So if you kind of want to save a bit of money, they're usually discounted when they come out in packs like that. Otherwise, yeah, I love these. Even though I'm not big into mining, I think having one in the back of your ship, should you come across a cave or someplace which requires a bit of mining like that, absolutely yes. And the other ship which came out was the Drake Golem. Did we see the silhouette of that? I think we did, and we had no idea what it was. But here it is, a little single-seater mining ship. Now, I have not tried out myself yet, but I did watch this awesome video by Even Lease. And let's just fire this up and take a look what he has to say about it.
And put them back on. Let's have a little bit of fun with this before we do. Now, from this point forward, I'm going to have all game audio on except for music, just so we can take a look at how this ship sounds when we do pretty much anything with it. So let's go ahead and start. We're taking a look at the exterior here. Let's see where some of the access points are. First, starting with this side, you do have a storage access point right here. I'm going to go ahead and close that up.
The new generation of ships have all these access points and lockers and storage points all over the place. The Golem, along with them, so much. Just check this out. It's amazing.
I can't believe I left that open. It doesn't seem to be closing. But otherwise, when you open this, this is where you'll have your storage. Obviously, I can't seem to do that right now. I opened it back in the hangar, and it never closed. It's one of those bugs that just happens with some of these storage areas. Hopefully, something that's fixed before its live release. And then taking a look over here, you do have one of your weapon racks, which if you open that, you can see I already have a handgun there. And you could probably put, a medical device or a multi-tool here, which is pretty cool.
Does anyone else just get tickled about that? I'm just a big fan of having these access to weapons on the outside of the ships. That's so awesome. And there's the rifle. Amazing.
Rifle, which is just awesome. So you have two of them, one on each side, and it even says it, rifle.
Love it.
You gotta love the detail right there, right? Now this is where you enter the ship. This is the front of the ship. Just picture it like an ROC. You walk straight up to it and you press this button right here, and that'll allow you to get into the ship, which we'll do in just a second. Let's go ahead and continue looking at some of
I like how they basically took the front end of the mule and just slapped it on a whole bunch of other stuff. And there's the ship. That's great.
this detail on here. So over here, you do have a fuel port, and no, it's not this right here. It's actually here, and there's the button there. If you click that, it brings out that fuel port. Very interesting that you would put something that has a very flammable substance that could potentially be caking the outside of it, depending on which Drake pilot's loading the fuel in there, and then you have a thruster right next to it. So it's a recipe for disaster, but, you know, it's just where it's at. Now let's go ahead and take...
Hey, that's Drake. Now, the ship has no interior. It's just basically a cockpit, and then you have the saddlebags, I guess, taking up the rest of the ship.
Take a look at the rest of the ship. You do have, like I said, 2 of these ore bags here, the one here in the center, and then one right behind it. Let's take out our tractor beam, if we can, with the smaller one, and remove it from the ship. All right, so to remove these ore bags here, you do have to unlock your ship ports. To do that, you get into the cockpit, you hit right Alt K, and that'll unlock the ports. It'll have it come up on screen saying
Right Alt K. I got to write this down because I always get stuck on this. So right Alt and K opens the ports.
ship ports unlocked. Once you do that, you can go ahead and grab your ore pod and take it on down just like that. Nice. Pressing the button here, it's going to go ahead and open up just like the ROC. Your seat's going to come down. You're going to go ahead and get in. This thing is going to be a hot box. You do have a fan behind you, as you can see when the thing opened up, but still, you're in just a nice metal box.
There's air conditioning in Drake's. That's okay.
I don't know if I've said this, but there is no interior, no bed, no nothing. So This is just it here, your cockpit, and you have some of your buttons, your lights, all sorts of different things. Enable VTOL, so that's pretty nice. And then you have your 2 MFDs and your radar system with a few more buttons up top. So let's go ahead and power this thing on and see what we can do about mining and show you that mining laser.
Engines online.
I like that they've kind of taken the engines off the, is that from the cutter? It looks like. And the sound is vast. Well, have they changed some of the sounds? It sounds a lot beefier to me. Have they made a difference in 4.1? I think they may have changed them.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and press M on the keyboard to deploy the laser, which, as you can see, it's going to go ahead and slide all the way to the front. And then the arm's going to go ahead and attract out. Oh, wow. Okay, so that was actually a pretty cool animation.
That is awesome.
It's very tucked away. I like that.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and try mining now. Let's see what this rock looks like here.
And we know what mining sounds like from there. But yeah, that seems pretty damn awesome to me. I love it's compact, and obviously black and yellow is the superior color. Can't go wrong there. And compared to the race over there, it's pretty compact. It's a small little ship. Personally, this is speaking for me, I don't really mind too much, but as a starter miner ship, I think this definitely hits the right spots. As a little, I guess, ship to put inside one of your carriers, it's perfect also. Price will be the last thing I'm not really sure about. Let me know your guesses for price, but even least, great video. Thank you very much for that. Let me know your thoughts on these 2 new offerings. I'm definitely a big fan of the Atlas Geo, and as for the Golem itself, I love everything about it. Probably not something I would buy for fresh cash myself. This is probably an in-game purchase for me, but I love the idea of what they did here. I'm a big fan of Drake, and it will very likely sell very well. Give me your thoughts below. If you like my content, thumbs up, subscribe. Shout out to Even Least for his video. I'll catch you guys in the next one.